Howdy, friends. Welcome to another episode of Lonesome Pine Losers. I'm your host, Triple JEG3. Today, we head down to the Divided City, where Coach Derrick Patterson leads the Bearcat Nation through a 2025 campaign that will be a challenging schedule to say the least. Last year, the Bearcats had a great year, going 8-4, 4-1, and winning a playoff game. Coach Patterson hopes to continue that success through the 2025 season. He was kind enough to sit down and talk with us today. Let's listen and see what he has to say. We want to welcome Virginia High Bearcat head coach Derrick Patterson. Coach, thank you so much for being with us this morning, sir.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. Really appreciate it.
Coach, tell us a little bit about last season. You guys had a tremendous year last year. 8-4, 4-1 in the district. Won a playoff game.
It definitely was an interesting ride. Looking back, started off pretty good, and then we lost three straight to, three really good teams. Of course, Graham ended up doing what Graham does. They went 15-0 and won it all. And then we were kind of able to get on a run that second half of the year, and just to see the growth of our program and to see the growth of our team last year throughout the season. We had some guys that really stepped up and did some special things. Keyshawn being one of those guys. Now he's at Emory, and we're looking for him to do some great things while he's there. But yeah, I mean, it was a really fun year. Definitely came with some challenges here and there, both on and off the field. But just really proud of that group of guys and how they try to stay together and continue to just work through adversity, to start off winning a few and then to lose three straight and then, just to finish the way we did and lose to a really good Graham team in the playoffs.
Yeah, no disgrace in that, Coach. They're right now they seem to be the top dog. Coach, tell me, how many seniors did you graduate off of last year's team?
So we had 8 seniors. One of them was kind of around the program a lot, but didn't join until a little bit later. So really, 7 seniors. All those guys, they were starters. A few of them were two-way starters, and then we had a couple of guys in that group that also, were kind of in and out due to injuries and different things like that. A very good group. The first group that I've had for all 4 years being here. A talented group. And a group that really matured and tried to do things the way that we asked them to. And, just really proud of what they brought to our program.
How about this summer? How has the attitude been with workouts and guys getting ready for the fall?
It's been good. It's been really good, man. Our young men have worked hard. This is the first year that, we're looking to have a roster of just over 50, which is good. And we want to play some JV games as well. And these young men, for the most part, have done, what we've asked them to. They've accepted more challenging things that we've tried to throw at them. And they seem to be really, supporting each other and trying to build a culture around just being positive towards each other, and that we're going to handle the adversity that we're faced, and we're still going to put each other first, which has been good. But even little things from our young and our new players, we've got a few new faces that, even aren't freshmen, have done a really good job of communicating, hey, coach, I can't make it here or there. But, not missing a whole lot either. And being willing to sacrifice for the team has been very encouraging.
Coach, 50 is a good number. That's a substantial roster. Good for you. That's outstanding. Now, besides names and faces, are there going to be any other changes, any wholesale changes in the program, schematically or philosophically or anything like that?
No, not really. We're kind of sticking to what we've done in the past. Having Coach Sloan as our offensive coordinator, he has definitely tried to morph the offense into more of a zone scheme base than a gap scheme base, which is, kind of what I grew up on. I played in high school in the wing tee, and then in college I was a defensive player. I would definitely consider myself more of a defensive coach than an offensive coach. But outside of that, we're doing a lot of the same things we did last year, but, we don't have as many of the gap schemes that we've had in the past, which is, that's not going to be a secret. People will see that, week by week. So no, not really many changes at all, honestly. Defensively and offensively, we're pretty similar to what we've done in the past. Some things have changed and adapt a little bit, but as far as philosophy and what we want to do and what we look like schematically, it's pretty similar. And I think that's going to, face them did allow us to play more confidently, play faster, which I think could yield some great results for us.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about your philosophy on offense and defense there. Since you said there's not going to be any changes, what's kind of what you believe in?
So offensively, I want to be as balanced as possible. And I see that in, we always talk to our kids about guys, we want to prepare to be the best team that we can be, which means preparing for the best teams that you'll play. So when you play the, teams like a Graham or, getting Tennessee High back on the schedule and, in our district, we've had different teams that have, stepped up over the past few years, but, Tazewell's always been tough. Of course, Lebanon is going to be extremely good this year. I believe offensively being balanced and being able to keep teams kind of, on their toes a little bit and not being able to just line up and say, hey, this is what they're doing, putting, every year that we've been good, we've had games where we've had to throw a bunch and we've had games where we've had to run in a bunch. And if a team is going to give us something, we're going to do our best to take advantage of it. And then, defensively, we're different alignments and blitzes and blitz packages here. And a couple years ago, we had a defensive route that was a little bit better, kind of sitting, reading, and reacting. That group was probably a little more football smart than other groups that we've had. This year, we've got a good mix. We've got all three of our defensive linemen back who, they wreaked havoc on a lot of teams last year. And we've got some other guys that we can mix in with them to keep them fresh as well. We've got a couple of our linebackers back, but we also lost, some good linebackers. Tristan Denny was an all-region linebacker. Elijah Burks was, all-district linebacker. So losing those guys will definitely hurt a little bit. That was quite a bit of experience. But, having 5 of that 6 back in the box is going to be huge for us because Davi was able to get quite a bit of playing time at linebacker last year, and he's only going to be a junior this year, and he's a heck of an athlete. And then, in the secondary is kind of where, the pieces have got to come together for us. We've got Jacob Rowe back at corner, and so, we've got some competition for our safety spot and our other corner spot. But Chance Wellington, he came back, or he's back this year, and he got quite a bit of playing time last year. So, it's probably going to take a little bit before we're able to get into really mixing things up like we did last year because our secondary was so experienced. But we hope to kind of get back to that point, hopefully middle of the season, and be able to give some teams some different looks to make it a little more difficult for them to figure out what we're doing. But also, being a team that can line up and send pressure, but also at times can probably sit back and read and react because we do have a little bit of experience.
Yeah, there's no substitute for game experience, is there, Coach? Once those kids have got to get out there and get in that live fire. Let's talk about the schedule a little bit. You've swapped a couple of teams and you've picked up a couple of formidable opponents. It's so good to see Virginia High. Let's be honest, Virginia High and Tennessee High need to play every year. That they need to have the Battle of Bristol there, the state line battle that needs to be. So you guys picked up Tennessee High, and then you're going to Grayson County, who I believe was runner up last year in the state.
Yeah.
So you've picked up a couple of formidable opponents. Talk a little bit about the schedule, Coach.
So yeah, we of course we had a mix up with Richlands and scheduling there, so we're now playing them in week 0. So opening up with them while everybody else is playing their benefit game and playing their second scrimmage is going to present a unique challenge. But then we go in the Patrick Henry in battle, who's been on our schedule pretty consistently, and then specifically those 3 games that you're talking about, Tennessee High, Grayson County, and then I definitely throw George Wythe in there. Of course, me being at Holston for quite a while, those first few years we played George Wythe because they was in the Huggy district. And, definitely have some familiarity there, and have a lot of respect for that program. Know a few of their coaches that are down there. So I feel like those are three very, very quality opponents.
Coach,
So
those are three tough games right there that you're playing back to back to back.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. And so looking at the tradition that George Wythe has had, looking at what Coach James has been able to build over at Grayson County, and the success that they've had, a lot of respect for them. And then I've been very consistent about saying, Coach Holt and I over at Tennessee High, Coach Holt from Tennessee High, we have a great relationship. We used to work together at Holston, and he is a phenomenal coach. He's one of the best coaches I've ever met, high school or college level, one of the best teachers I've ever met. Um, and he does a great job relating to those kids, and the staff that he has there does a really, really good job. And, when you play them, they're going to run the football, they're going to be extremely physical, and they're going to be extremely well coached on defense. So, it is exciting to bring it back. This is something that we've been having this conversation over at Virginia High since I've been here. What does it look like if we bring it back? Are we going to bring it back? And so, starting those scrimmages, having them back, and seeing how, those were very, very competitive the past 2 years, and talking to our kids and saying, listen, here's the history. I want you to know the information. Don't just think that, you're going into this. I want you to have some information about this, but ultimately it's up to you guys. If you guys want to play Tennessee High, then we want to play Tennessee High. But if you don't, then we're not going to do it. And, our kids, and I'm not talking about last year's seniors. I'm talking about, we talked to our young kids who were, we knew we're going to be starting this tradition again. And we just said, hey, if you guys want to play it, we will. And they said, yeah, we want to bring it back. We want to play it. So.
Oh, that's outstanding, Coach. I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's be honest. High school football is about rivalry games. And it's good for the sport. It's good for the town. It's good for the school. It's good for the community. I just feel like that's a win-win, and I am super excited that you guys are going to tee that up with those guys across the state line there. Now they will be coming to Gene Malcolm. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, Coach. So one more thing right here. So if when the good people from Bristol show up this fall on Friday night, or if I flip on the video here on the World Wide Web of Deceit, and I'll look at Virginia High, what do you hope that people see? What's your expectation when you guys roll out there on Friday night?
I hope they see a group of kids who are passionate, not just about the game, but passionate about each other. I hope they see a group that is out there having fun and enjoying the game. And we want to be a fast and physical team. We want to be a disciplined team that doesn't hurt ourselves with dumb penalties, and, doing things, after the play that are unnecessary. But I just hope they see a group of young men that just enjoy being around each other, enjoy being out on that field, and want to represent their school and their community the best of their ability, and hopefully are giving glory to God for the things and the talents that He has blessed us with, and for who He is. That's what I really hope that people see, because this summer and these first few days of 2 days practices, coming back and getting in the season, it's been a lot of fun, and our young men have embraced the hard work that has come with it, and the challenges through the weather, which I know that everyone is doing. But it feels different than it has in the past, and I give all the glory to God for whatever this season may hold. But also want to credit these young men, and just how they accepted the things that we've thrown at them, and how fun they are to coach, and how honored we are as a coaching staff to be their coaches.
Outstanding, Coach. Thank you so much for your time. We want to thank Coach Derrick Patterson for being on the show today. Coach, thank you for your time, and we want to wish all the people there in the Bearcat Nation the best of luck this season on a great year.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I really appreciate it, and good luck to you with this show.
Friends, thank you for joining us today. We're grateful that Coach Patterson could sit down and take time out of his busy day to share a few of his thoughts with us. We want to wish him and all the fine people there in Bristol the best of luck this season. Thank you for being around. We'd love to have you like and subscribe. Till then, this is Triple JEG3 saying, see you on the flip flop.